Those were the days when, if you weren't feeling like you could make it amongst men, you had to try a little harder. You didn't get to go out and join the other team, crack women's skulls and break all kinds of records. Unbelievable what's happening in front of us right now. But now you're going after the kids. All of this shit's got to stop. And it's up to the men in this country to take a stand, to grab some balls.
Ah, the good old days. We all miss the good old days. You know, I don't know if this guy was trolling. It's very possible that he was, but this is a very good example of people who spend too much time watching television or live, you know, vicariously online through Instagram, Snapchat, whatever else that is. You know, when people think that the world is one way, when really there's so much more nuance and gray area. You know, similar to when like people in the red pill community think that all women are like this and all women are like that. And you have to go about things this way and there's no gray area. There's no middle ground. Like, yeah, spoken like a bunch of guys who suck with women or who have no real experience with women or guys who are just grifting to lonely men who don't know what they're doing. You know, so again, when people say stuff like, you know, back in the day when we had all this loyalty and honor, like there was no crime, no thievery, no scandals, no deceit back in the day. In fact, the further back in time you go, the more violent humanity gets. The more you see things like slavery being just open and accepted. It still exists today, but not like it used to. The more you see things like pillaging just being the norm. So, you know, the good old days really don't exist.
Those were the days when men had core values because we knew it was our inherent duty to stand up for the ladies and the children. That was our duty. That's when men knew what honor and integrity and loyalty and fortitude were.
And then it's also hilarious when, you know, guys like this or boomers pretend like, you know, back in the day, gay people didn't exist. There was no queer community.
How many of you remember the good old days? The good old days when boys were boys and girls were girls and you could tell the difference just by looking.
They know that that's false. They absolutely grew up knowing plenty of queer people because queer people have always existed. We've talked about the Greeks and the Romans, even though conservatives idolize them for Western society, but, you know, kind of overlook all the gay stuff that they did. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, but there was a lot of pedophilia mixed in, you know, and they're always talking about pedophilia. So, you know, but again, no matter what type of sexual activity or any type of degeneracy or evil or thievery, whatever it is that you can think of, human beings have been human beings since we've been around. Ever since we were hunter-gatherers, even into civilization and as it's expanded, there really hasn't been that much change in what we are inherently. So, you know, again, acting like back in the day, what about J. Edgar Hoover? You know, let's not talk about that. You know, let's not talk about any of the people who come out who are strictly against gay marriage or very, very against gay sex, but then it comes out that they go to raves and, you know, like Vito from The Sopranos. So many people, they live their lives either online or watching too much TV, or they just are imbalanced. Whatever the situation may be, all you got to do is turn the TV off or not go on certain websites or not follow certain pages on social media or not get too, you know, just drawn into places like Twitter and Instagram where the algorithm is going to take you where you're paying attention. You know, so again, if you turn those things off, you'll come to find that life is a lot better. Life is a lot more of what you make it, in fact. You don't have to watch things you don't want to see. But, you know, they're mad that they choose to watch these things on television. They choose to tune into these websites. They choose to follow these topics on social media. But, again, I don't know if this guy was trolling or if he was serious, but it's always hilarious when all these people got to do is turn off the TV.